Hi, welcome to Conversations That Inspire. Kim Castellano here, and I'm sitting with a dear friend, Al Marinelli, and today he is celebrating 31 years of recovery. We've also, today, Al and I both went to a meeting, and I left there feeling so empowered and reminded of what recovery is and what it does for people. So I left there feeling so empowered. And then we came back here, and I'm sitting here having a wonderful conversation with Al about his recovery. One of the things before, talking about recovery, just want to address it. 12 Steps with Jesus was a book I had on my bookcase over the summer. I was glancing through it, and it did say, Don Williams said that, there's many, we're all walking around with some form of addiction. There's many different addictions, and it doesn't always look like, maybe drugs or alcohol, but there's food addictions, there's relationship addictions, workaholics, and, so there's so many addictions. But Al, I'm really excited to have you, and Al and I go back many years together. I want to say maybe more than 10, well, we'll just keep it as 10. Al and I led a recovery group together. That's when I first was really in the trenches with recovery, and we've seen people recovered, we've lost people, we've rescued people. We have our stories, and it was a wonderful time in my life where I was able to see people in recovery, see how the 12 steps worked in their life. But I know we did it through the church, but we put that spiritual aspect on our recovery. And of course, my faith plays a huge role in my own recovery. Every day, and I think that we all need recovery. So Al, sitting here, the big question, today's a really big day. 31 years is a long time, and I know that knowing you so close and dearly as a family, like you're like a brother to me. So I know that looking back 10 years and seeing you today, you're different. You're still growing, you're still moving, and you're still in recovery, so I'm really excited. And today was awesome to see you in the room there, and just to share that with those people who just came in even 30 days, and just to be reminded of, wow, how we really do need recovery. But the big question is, what did recovery look like when you first started 31 years ago? Maybe you could just tell everybody, what does that look like?
Well, first of all, thanks, Kim, for having me here. And, recovery is a process. What it looked like back then, 31 years ago, looks nothing like it is right now in my life.
Right.
However, the results are the same. I stay clean, I get better, I stay sober, and I get better as an individual as I allow God to work in my life to be the person that He created me to be. So, 31 years ago, basically I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I kept doing things over and over and over again, expecting different results. So it's like, as Kim said, like a lot of us, all of us could use recovery in some way, shape, or form in our lives. Whatever it is, fill in the gap. Whatever it is to help us take ourselves out of dealing with what the issues are in our life.
Right.
Whether we try to stuff it down, or we're trying to forget where we came from, or fearful of what we're facing sometimes, and we it's our nature, our flesh wanting to grab something to replace the dealing with whatever it is to get through whatever it is we're going through. So, 31 years ago, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Didn't know what that meant. I had no idea what that meant. But I just knew that the life and the lifestyle that I was living, I did not want to continue in that way. But I didn't know any other way.
Right.
So I was stuck. That's what it looked like 31 years ago, until I surrendered and reached out and said, I need help.
Right. And so you ended up in a recovery group.
Yes.
Because now, today, I know that even 10 years ago and still today, you go to those recoveries. You go to those meetings. So for you, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, that's just a normal thing for you to do, is to go to when you feel like it, or you have certain ones that you go to. So hearing those stories today, at the 12-step meeting that we went to, I did hear a lot of people talking about their inner person, that they're working on that. Is that the addiction that made them do this? It's their character, maybe defects, right? That they're working on. So in that room, I just hear a lot of people working on their inner person. So what? And I know that 10 years ago, it was messy. Sure. We were working with people, and life was messy. I mean, even helping people in recovery was a messy job. I mean, we did it for 2 years, Al. It was tough. It was a tough thing that we took on, but we've seen people's lives transform. So it was messy. Would you say that? I mean, your family.
It's accurate.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. You know.
And now today, what does that look like for you today? Recovery, 30 years ago, 20 years ago to now. What is that really like?
Well, you know, that's a wide. That's a big question. You know, it looks like a lot of different things, but today for me, you know, there's a lot of people in life, in general, in recovery, out of recovery, that still don't experience that sense of fulfilling why they're even here on this earth.
Right.
Knowing who they are, why they're here, what their purpose in life is, and where they're going. I've been blessed that through a 12-step recovery process program and groups that I go to, that God has broke his anonymity to me. And he has specifically shown me over time why I'm here, what my purpose in life, who I am, and where I'm going. So, you know, today, recovery for me is a part of filling God's purpose and plan for my life. And being sensitive to hearing the needs that are around me, whether it be financial, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. You know, people caught up in addictions. People are broke and experiencing bankruptcy, or losing their home, or losing their cars, or just losing everything. You know, people are struggling these days, and you know, recovery and the relationship with God really helps to give a hope in that. So it's my purpose to share, and I shared this today in the meeting. You know, I came from a mess. I didn't. From what I knew, I didn't have a shot. So I came from a mess, grew up in a mess, right? With my mom being married 5 times, and that's not to say nothing bad about her. It's just, it is what it is, right? So grew up in a mess, moved around many times, created more of a mess out of that mess. God handpicked me, and he brought me into a recovery process. And it wasn't like this God came down and grabbed me and threw me into this. I just knew. I looked in the mirror one day and realized, what am I doing? Like, I'm not the person I'm looking at in the mirror. What happened to me? And so, you know, through the pain, my process of experiencing pain and doing things over and over again, expecting different results, like I said before, I was offered an opportunity to go to rehab. And at first I was, no, I'm good. I don't need that. I can do it on my own. Like I did every night. I quit every night. Whatever substance I was using, I quit every night. And then the next day I would wake up only to want to go back to that drug again, or drink, or whatever it was. And, you know, so what happened was I just, you know, I surrendered. I was beaten.
Right.
And I came to the end of my rope. And I reached out for help, and I went to a rehab center for 30 days and was given some tools. Now I had tools.
Right. What you didn't have before.
I didn't have the tools.
Right.
I didn't know. I thought I was the only one that did or thought the same way that I thought. So, and you experienced it today going to the meeting, that, you know, like, we're only as sick as our secrets, right?
Yeah.
So, in going to meetings, people share, and they share about things that we all go through in life.
Right. It's just normal stuff everybody's dealing with. And I was like, wow. I was like, but then I said, look at the growth.
Yeah.
I said, we stood there, and I was like, yeah, look at the growth just in ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be reminded where we were, you know, in, you know, whatever type of recovery. I mean, with smoking. I mean, that thing was like a heroin addict. I felt like with cigarettes, it was hard to quit smoking. For me, I needed help. I needed a lot of help, and I know that, you know, I'm never going to smoke again. But still, it's just like when I look back, how much, you know, I've grown through recovery, just those tools, and we have them. And there's people coming in, and you know, 57 years old, 30 years old, didn't matter, 70 years old, and they're just starting to get a hold of those tools. And how I just came out of there feeling really grateful that, you know, I obeyed and listened, and I constantly, and even in my workshops, teaching people how to overcome some of this stuff, and it's all from 12 steps. You know, I mean, so to be honest with you, Al, this has been great. I'm proud of you. I really am. I don't think I know anyone that's got 31 years of recovery. I don't think I do. And many people probably don't even know, you know.
They're out there,
They're
and
out
a lot
there.
of people don't know
Yeah.
that the
They
support
can do
groups that
it.
are out there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Listen, the message is, you know, if you're listening to this, you know, I don't believe in coincidences, right?
Right. No, so there's people listening.
There's people
What can we
listening,
tell them?
and you know, you're not alone. You're not alone with whatever it is, because you know, as there's a God and a God who loves us all and everything like that, and wants what's best for us. There's an enemy out there, and I think, you know, with what's going on in this world, there's no denying that there's an enemy that really wants to keep us oppressed and
Yeah.
keep us down, and believing that we're
Right.
the only ones that isolated from
Right.
admitting we even have a problem. So
Right.
you know, the hope is that you're not alone, and
there's
tell
hope.
somebody.
Right.
Reach out to Kim. Reach out to people in a 12-step recovery
Right.
program.
I mean, also, let's give viewers your phone number, because I know that, listen, we've rescued many people and you've sat with them. If someone's struggling right now, it's like, what's your number?
Listen, you can. Anybody can call me. Anybody can call me at 973-851-9146. Now, I'm not the answer to your
Right.
problem, but I can be a vehicle that God would want to use to
Yes.
help direct you to whatever it is that your needs are, to
Right.
get you to where God has created
Right.
you to be.
Yeah. And then, again, I'm not pushing anything, but there's tons of 12 steps with Jesus groups. We did Celebrate Recovery together. People can even just Google an AA meeting, an NA meeting. You know, come on, it's the internet, you know,
Yeah.
super highway here. There's help out there. But if someone really needs a helping hand, you know, we're here to help them. So listen, it's been wonderful.
Thank you, Kim.
And so thank you so much for coming to
Thank you.
Conversations That Inspire. And I know that this really is going to inspire some people out there. And just keep it going with your recovery. I'm so proud to know you.
Thanks.
So
I'm
thanks.
proud to know you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening.